That's Mike Jack.
Back up.
Is that Joe Jonas? He looks like Andrew Garfield, actually. As a wind player, the way I would be sitting in those stands, just like, y'all got it. Sweetness! Hey guys, welcome to Kim's Never Seen It. I'm Kemma, and today the movie we're going to be talking about is Drumline. If you've never been here before, I basically take movie recommendations for movies I've never seen, which is all movies ever, give a quick synopsis about what they're about, and then give my opinion. Will it differ from yours? Probably. But if you've never seen this movie before, I'm putting a big spoiler alert right here because we're about to talk about it. Now that we got that out the way, let's get into what this movie's about. It's based on the DVD cover summary. Halftime is a party time in this high-step-in, high-energy comedy that shakes, rattles, and rolls the house with a pulsating soundtrack and electrifying dance moves. Nick Cannon stars as Devon Miles, a gifted street drummer who snares the top spot in a Southern University marching band, but quickly discovers that it takes more than talent to make it on the drum line. I've mentioned this before, but if you don't know, I'm a huge band nerd. I was in concert band in middle school. I was in marching band in high school. I did 3 years of college marching band as well. Granted, I didn't go to an HBCU. I went to a PWI, so there is a huge difference. I knew this already, but watching this movie made it more apparent to me. But like the DVD cover summary says, we start off with Devon Melvin. He's graduating from high school. And again, he seems to be like the top drummer, snare player at his school. Like, he has all this talent. Drumming is basically his life. Like, they're doing like a final like little song at their school for graduation, and he's playing in the band up there. And instead of doing the regular music that they rehearsed and they were supposed to, he decides to like jazz it up and do some different riffs. It sounds good and people in the crowd like it, but yeah, that's the kind of drummer he is, or musician that he is. After graduation, he goes to a subway station and he gives them like attendant man this card, and it was for his graduation. So I was just like, what? That's not currency. But it turns out that that's his dad. I guess he went throughout his life without his dad, and he kind of was just like, hey, I made it without you. I don't need you. I got a full ride to this college, so I'm good. Then after that, you see him on a bus going to his college university. It's called A&T, and we meet a couple other people on that bus as well. It looks like there's some band members that are on that bus. Actually, I'm not really sure if it's only band members that were on that bus, but we did meet a couple of them. So they get to the school. He's already on the prowl. He sees a girl in the distance that looks good, that he likes. So of course he goes up to talk to her, but one of her friends in the background is Shamia. I've been watching Housewives of Atlanta since it came out. Granted, I haven't watched a season since after 2020. The infamous Bolo, if you know. So like, I haven't watched those seasons, but all the other seasons leading up to that, avid watcher. So I know who Shamia is. But we meet Layla. She's the girl that Devon had his eyes on and goes to kind of talk to her. She's an upperclassman. He's obviously a freshman. He just got there. So it's just like a small like little interaction, and then they kind of go their separate ways. And then after that, they all gather around to meet the drum majors for the band. And they're basically just like, oh, you know, this is the band. You're going to have to wear white shirts to show that you're a freshman and we can identify you, that you're a rookie, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, we wanted to make sure that everyone reads the rule book. So read the rule book tonight, have dinner, and go to bed. That's it. Don't do nothing else because we got work to do. Devon and them obviously didn't listen to that. So they go out and they probably come back in pretty late. But band camp's about to start, and they just the people in the band decide to play bass drum in the hallway, run through the door, say get up, let's go. Mind you, it's 4:30 in the morning. My PWI we didn't do all that. No. So everyone is now set up for block. If you don't know what block is, it's basically just everyone standing in line together, organized, obviously, so that they can be introduced to the professor, Dr. Lee, and they're about to go through band camp, but some are late. Now, Devon's roommate is late because he didn't wake him up, which I can understand. It's just like, he could be a heavy sleeper, but like, there's all this banging going on, people running in the room, like, let's go, and if you don't get up, that's on you. But at the same time, he didn't try to wake him up. It would be one thing if he tried and he stayed. It's another thing that he didn't try at all. He just kind of looked at him and was just like, oh well, and then left. So then, you know, the whole band got in trouble for that, basically.
Well, why didn't you wake him? I'm not his mother, sir.
So this is band camp. For this school, you basically have to like do all like learn how to march. You have to learn how to play in march. You have to learn, you know, the music. You have to learn all this different kind of stuff when you're in band camp. It's very for them. It's 2 weeks. That mine I think was only for 1 week, but they were long days, like 10-hour days. It was crazy. So you know. Devon obviously is on the drum line and he gets to meet his section leader. He's talking about they're the pulse of the band. They're doing this, da 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 da. Section leader, he sucks. His name is Sean. He's kind of a dick. But I guess you just have to put on that like, you know, mean, stern face at first to let you know about the discipline and what the band is about and all that kind of stuff. So I can understand. But like me now, like me back then, like younger college age, I could fall into that. Me now, who are you talking to? And also, I keep bringing it back. This is like a personal thing for me, but like at my school, the Drumline, I think they had like their own separate band camp. They had like a Drumline band camp. I'm not sure how long it was. It might have been a week. And then they joined the full band for their band camp. So Drumline, in my experience, has always had this high standard of being on point. So, you know, again, the section leader, Sean, being more stern and being like, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, we have to do all this strenuous stuff. It makes sense to me, but he's still a dick. And also, Devon has a inflated ego and he, you know, tries to challenge Sean on some things. Now, here's the thing. Again, Devon he's coming straight out of high school where it's very easy to be like top dog, popular, top status and stuff like that in high school because the high school is only so big. When you get out into the real world or you even just get to like a college, a university or something like that, you realize it ain't that sweet. All the status that you had in high school and stuff usually falls off when you get out into the real world or when you go to college and stuff like that. That's why some people say that some people peak in high school because they think they're all this and that and they try to transfer it into the real world and it doesn't work like that. So they're just like, what? Like Devon says that Dr. Lee requested him to be in the band and that's why he has a full ride scholarship and all this kind of stuff. So yeah. So just remember, Devon has an inflated ego and it just keeps coming up in the movie. So just remember that. Band camp is underway. Band camp is intense. I don't miss it. Listen, my body isn't like how it was back then. I am not broken down. I still have good knees. If you know, you know. But like, I don't know if I can be doing all of that. Especially again, I would do like 7 days, 10-hour days. No, I'm good. And while band camp is happening, the president of the school talks to Dr. Lee. Apparently Dr. Lee is more interested in the kids learning music and learning foundation and discipline and all that comes with music and marching band. He wants them to be musicians, but the president wants him to make their songs, make their style more palatable to the students in the stands. Because, you know, the band is the entertainment for the crowd at football games and things like that. So it would make sense to have stands tunes and cadences and things like that that are, you know, that the crowd would want to hear, you know, because no one really pays attention to the band. So you might as well try to make an effort to like play some stuff that they would like. But Dr. Lee doesn't do that. And the president said, you better fix that. And also we find out that Layla is also a part of the band, but she is on the dance team. She's a majorette. I think that's what they're called. She's a majorette. And I think she's like the leader, whatever they're called. I didn't go to an HBCU. I'm sorry. Later on, we're getting closer and closer to auditions. This is the elimination round, basically, to show who's going to be in the band, who's not. Before they go in, Sean is kind of going down the line and asking people rules of the rule book that they all should have read front to back. They should basically have it memorized. And of course, Devon doesn't know one of the things from the rule book, the probably most important, not the most important rule, but the most detrimental.
If you do not read this rule book, your head will be shaved.
Devon said, hell no, I'm not doing that. But if he doesn't do it and follow the rule book, he can't march. And as someone who went bald not too long ago, I mean, back then, I also would have been like, hell no. But now that I've been bald, it's not that bad. And he did end up doing it, so it was okay. Now it's time for everybody to audition. So there are 3 different positions. There's P1s, which basically guarantee that you're going to have a spot in the band. And then P2 and P3s, they're kind of like replacement people. So if there's a spot open, they can get in to fill in. But if not, they're kind of just like shadowing and kind of on the side. So it's still their responsibility to know the music, know steps and things like that, but they're not actually in the band, but they have a chance to. And they have this thing where I believe it's like alumni people who stand off to the side of the audition. They watch in and they flash their lights for what rank they think the student should be in. So if they only flash once, P1, flash twice, P2, flash 3 times, P3. So now it's Devon's turn to go up. He does his audition, but he didn't read the music. Like apparently he didn't look at the sheet music at all. And then at the end, he even put his own little flavor on it and improvised something for himself. Now again, Sean is just like, he's a great musician. He could drum his ass off, but his attitude sucks, which I agree with. His attitude is not good. But even the people who flashed in the lights, they gave him a 1. So you can't fight that. And in the background, Devon is still trying to pursue Layla. So they just keep talking every now and again, you know, college love story. So they're coming up on their first game. Sean is teaching the Drumline music that they need to learn. So Sean has a solo that he performs in front of the crowd for the football game, and there's like a lead up to it. So he's trying to teach all of them that, and he's just like, it's very difficult, so make sure you pay attention and we'll get it done. But of course Devon gets it like that, and he's just like, okay. In rehearsal, which also I would say another difference is that personally in my school, when we did rehearsal, the only time we would be indoors was during band camp. We would be in the music hall and we would perform the music in there. But after band camp was over and we were actually like in the season practicing, we only performed outside, which I do think is good. I do think that that's good to do because you can hear the sound outside, what needs to be louder, what needs to be softer, how we need to blend things. But they performed their rehearsals inside. So I was just like, damn, even after band camp. That's nice because it's hot outside. So I'm just like, that's really, really nice. But Dr. Lee gives them music from Earth, Wind, and Fire. And the students are kind of just like, we don't want to hear this. But he's just like, listen, I know you want music from this artist, that artist. But all of these artists, he was like Snoop Dogg, Angie Stone, people like that. He's just like, all these artists have sampled from artists like this. So we're going to be doing the original in our routine. Respect. So now it's the first game. Devon's talking shit because he's just like, oh, yeah, it's the first game. It's whatever. Your solo sucks anyways, taking that to Sean. And then Sean's just like, okay, if you think it sucks, take my solo. Go for it. And they go out to the field. They're doing their thing. And Sean's looking at him because it's time for him to do the solo. Devon doesn't move. He hesitates. So Sean's just like, finally, I fucking broke him. He goes out to do the solo. And then Devon gets the confidence to muster himself over there and do a little number. Mind you, I didn't know that this was also a TikTok sound at one point. Didn't know. The crowd loves it. Dr. Lee doesn't. He thinks that, again, his ego is just kind of getting in the way. Like, you had the opportunity, you didn't take it, but now you don't want to be embarrassed. So now you're going to step out on the field and like do this thing that wasn't rehearsed that you're not supposed to do. What's going on? But the president of the school loved it. He saw how the crowd reacted and he's just like, that's what we want to see. So then Dr. Lee kind of leaves it for the time being. Then we're going to go back to another scene with Layla and Dev. Again, they're kind of doing their thing and they went to a frat party, and there's different like sororities, fraternities there. They're doing their steps. We find out that Layla is part of a sorority and stuff, so she's stepping with her sisters. And then there's a fraternity that starts doing their steps. And in that moment, Layla and Dev decide it's a great time to kiss and become in love. I said this in my Oppenheimer movie. Like, there are certain things that obviously can get me to that point, but I don't think watching other people's step has ever made me horny. So I don't know. That I didn't go to an HBCU. I don't know. So the next day, Sean had came up with more cadences, more stuff to use for the show, things like that. And Dr. Lee is just like, okay, play it for me so that I can see what it sounds like, how we can kind of fit it in. And then Sean's just like, actually, I want Devon to do it. I want him to read the music and play it for you. And Devon's just like, oh, no, I'm okay. That's fine. But he's just like, no, go ahead. We want to see how you do it, big hot shot. Dev can't read music. And Dr. Lee is so mad because apparently Dev said that he could read music, he can do all this stuff. He lied to him basically to get on the line. So Dr. Lee is so pissed off because he's just like, you lied to me. You're supposed to be in this band, you need to know how to read music. It's in the rule book. You lied to me. So now he has to take like classes to be able to learn how to read sheet music, which the good thing for him is that he just plays snare. So he just has to learn beats and the length of beats and different things like that. For wind instruments, obviously you have to learn the notes and all that kind of stuff, the sounds of notes and all that. So I would say in that context, it's a little easier for him, but still, I guess learning music is pretty hard. I understand that it can be easier to hear and play because I can do that. But to actually read the sheet music, maybe it's just harder for some people. And now he has to learn from scratch. So now we're at another football game. A&T goes to Morse Brown College. Now, I think their schools are kind of like in like a little rivalry kind of thing, like, you know, like a fun school rivalry kind of thing. And that school also has a band teacher who kind of like talks shit to Dr. Lee. And it's just like, your band can never be as good as mine or never be as fun or get the crowd hype, blah, 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 blah. Like he's always talking to him like that. And honestly, with the music that Morse Brown plays and the music that A&T plays, yeah, he's not wrong. As they're going home later that night, the band director for Morse and Brown, Mr. Wade, he sees Devon because I think he's seen him play before. And he's just like, you know, I see that, you know, they try to table talent and they don't want the best players to be out there. And he tries to like dim your light. And he gives Devon a card and be like, you can join my band and you can really shine and blah, 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 blah. But then Dr. Lee takes it and then they end up going home. So now after that, they got to get prepared for the BET Classic. Now, the BET Classic started off as a fundraiser where bands were raising money for uniforms. But as the years went on, it actually turned into a competition thing. And now bands come up and they, you know, they do their routine, they do their show and all things like that, and they compete for money, bragging rights, and all that kind of stuff. So now A&T has to prepare for that because again, they're trying to beat Morse Brown. They're trying to beat Morse Brown because they've been winning for the past few years. But first, it's homecoming, and so they're performing. They're performing at the show at the football game, and there's like a friendly little thing. It's like a battle of the band style kind of thing where the drum lines are kind of going to go head to head. Now, stuff like this is supposed to be friendly. I've always said this. If football teams have rivalry, if the fans have rivalry with each other, okay, that's cool. Bands are nice to each other, okay? And maybe, again, that's just me being on this side of the country, and that's how I view things. I don't know if it's different for, like, HBCUs and other colleges. Bands are supposed to be nice to each other because the band is the band. The football teams want to have rivalries, whatever. The fans want to have rivalries, a given. The bands are supposed to be nice. But anyway, so they're doing their thing, and, again, Devon inflated ego here. He starts to get a little crazy and he's drumming, stepping to the other band. And then when he's drumming, he starts playing on the other person's drum. Disrespectful. Immaturity wins. The person whose drum he played on knocks him out and they all start fighting. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Again, this is a friendly thing. Devon should not have done that. That is very disrespectful. But why did he hit him for? It's just so stupid. And that leads to Devon kind of being isolated. Layla's parents were there and they're just talking about who is that hoodlum who did all that kind of stuff. So she's like embarrassed and doesn't kind of go to him. The drumline doesn't notify him of meetings that they're having. And Dr. Lee kicks him out the band.
You are no longer a member of this band.
So he basically gets stripped of everything. And because of that, he goes to Morse Brown and talks to the director for a second. And is just like, yeah, I'm not in the band anymore. But, you know, like, maybe I can be with y'all next year. How does that sound? And he's just like, the director is just like, we can make some things happen. I can look into scholarships and things for you. So that's sounding good to Devon for the time being. Side note, this school got some good food. I've always lived off campus when I was in college. So, like, I didn't experience really eating at the college. They got some good food. They had greens. They had They had cornbread. It looked good. But in that moment, Layla finds Devon and she tries to talk to him and be like, listen, you have to understand, like, what I was put up against with my parents. I'm sorry I haven't talked to you, da-da-da-da-da. But again, Devon just kind of feels like he's been, like, isolated and abandoned almost because, you know, he lost everything in that moment and now he's just like, and you just left me? Cool. But again, their scenes together are pretty little. So that was kind of that. Dev goes back to Mr. Wade and he's just, you know, talking to him. And Mr. Wade is giving, like, sweet talking to him. He's just like, we can get you scholarships. We can get you with a job for the summer. I know you need some money. We can get you this. We can get you that. But then...
What you mean? What can I tell you?
What do you mean? What do I mean? Oh, I know Dr. Lee is working on something big for the classic. The man's too damn stubborn to sit down and take his butt whipping like a man. You know that.
So Devon clocks that and he's just like, you know what? I don't want nothing to do with y'all. Actually, I'm good. And he walks out. He gets back home. He gets a package. And it's a package from his papa. And his dad just basically gave him all these tapes, all these cassettes of, like, different music and stuff. And, you know, Devon is listening to it all. And as he's listening, he's drumming along to it. And he's kind of just like, I have an idea. But first, he runs into Sean. And then they have, like, a little cunt off, like, drumming and stuff like that. And, like, kind of arguing back and forth. And it's just like, you know nothing about me. It's just like, you're right, but why do you act this way? Da-da-da-da-da. And then finally, Sean is just like, listen, you are the man. You're good at what you do. But that's not what this is about.
The best, Devon. But when you're in the field, nobody hears you. They hear the band. One band.
I think that finally gets to Devon. It's just like, I can understand, again, he's coming straight from high school. When you're in high school, you want to strive to be the best student, the best athlete, best musician, whatever, because people are watching you. They're looking at you. And that's why he got a full ride scholarship, because he was the best. So I can understand striving for that in high school. But when you get to college, it's different. You have to work with people. You have to be more than just yourself. Still strive to be like an even better version of yourself. But like, it's not just you, especially in band. You can't be a person that pops out because you're the one that sounds wrong. Even if you're right, if the whole band is wrong, but you sound right, you're going to end up sounding wrong. So you have to blend in and be with everybody else. And I think that finally clicks to him that we are a team. It's not just individuals. So then after that, Sean and Dev actually start to work together with creating music and working with the Drumline and things like that. And they bring it to Dr. Lee and he likes what he sees. So he's just like, okay, I like this. And Dev's just like, I'm not looking to get back on the line. I understand, but like, I wanted to help. And he ends up helping. So with all of that and his attitude change, Dr. Lee is just like, you know, I really appreciate what you've been doing and, you know, changing the sound and everything. And also opening my eyes to try to let newer age music in with also a combination of some old stuff. Thank you for all of this. And we'll see what we can do for you next year as far as being on the line goes. So he's kind of back in. Him and Layla end up making up. And now we're about to get to the BET Classic. So like I said, the prizes for winning the BET Classic are top honors, $50,000, and just all around bragging rights. Everybody loves some good bragging rights. So of course they want to get that going. And it makes I miss music so much. I haven't played an instrument, honestly, since like, I don't know, 2020 maybe? Nope, maybe 2020, 2019. I could, but I just haven't. And I just miss it so much. This also made me realize I wish I could have experienced marching at an HBCU band, or at least going to an HBCU. Obviously, I didn't get that experience. Maybe in another life that could be for me. But man, it looks so, I've always like envied it. And, you know, I am where I am, whatever, but you know, I love it. So now Morris Brown is about to go. They bring out PD Pablo. Hello?
Who am I?
And they do pretty good. Theirs is like, again, like more fun, flashy. They have all the dramatics and all this kind of stuff. So it looks really, really good. But it's A&T's turn. They don't have any special guests. They don't have, you know, all of like the flash and all that stuff, but they have marching style and, you know, they know what they're about. So to start off, they did some music from like the Jacksons and then like the Jackson 5. I know they're different, but listen, when they left Motown, they couldn't keep the Jackson 5 name. They had to change it to the Jacksons. So I know my Jackson stuff. And then they did some other like more current songs and the crowd loves it. Everything is great. And then we're about to get down to who's the winner. And we get to see AJ and Free. I used to watch 106 in Park back in the day, and I definitely watched when they were the host. I miss them. But they're announcing who the winner is, and it's a tie between Morris Brown, of course, and A&T. So now they have to have a sudden death and basically figure out who is going to be the winner. And it's just the Drumlines who are going to battle against each other. As a wind player, the way I would sit in those stands and just be like, okay, y'all better represent. I would be so happy just not to have to do anything else. Not going to lie, I did get scared because, again, I was afraid that ego was going to pop back out of Devon. But no, they actually did really good. And because of that, they ended up winning. A&T won the BET Classic. Everything's good. That's really how the movie ends, honestly. There's like a number afterwards where the bands are just playing. But that's really how the movie ends. They win the BET Classic. And it makes me so happy that it took a long time for it to wrap around his head. But he finally realized one band, one sound. This movie got an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm going to be completely honest. I did not expect to like this movie the way that I did. I thought it was going to be pretty cliche and corny because it is an early 2000s movie. So I was just like, it's just going to be like, it's not going to be all that. That's a fair rating. Being in the 80s, that's fair. I thought this was a really good movie. There's also some nostalgia that I have because I am a band kid and I understand the things that go into band and marching band and things like that. So I can relate to this more. So it may be a tiny bit biased, but just in general, like, and also I was so tired of being shamed for not seeing this movie while being a band kid. So I saw it, I watched the movie, and I liked it. But that's it for my video this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If there's something that you liked, didn't like, you want to say how good I did, or you have any movie suggestions for the future, please leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, tell everybody you know about my channel. Still here, still posting, doing my best, y'all. I have a lot of stuff going on in the background in my personal life, so I'm doing my best, but I am still posting, which means you should still keep watching. You can also follow me on social media. Let me see, I've been making a lot of stuff. I have Kemma's Never Seen It on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. That's Kemma J on Blue Sky. And I just made a Twitter, Kemma's Never Seen, because I tried to put it on my @ that's too many characters. So it's just Kemma's Never Seen on Twitter. There's really nothing going on that page. I literally just made it. So if you want to follow, you can, and I'll try to start uploading on there. And as always, I want to express my gratitude and appreciation for you guys tuning in this Thursday. If this is your first time seeing me, obviously, you got through the whole video. Go through some more, because I got some more back there, okay? And let me know what you think. But that's it for this week, and I will see you guys back here next Thursday. Bye!